So Chris, at this point, we have not even talked about shoes.
I know. People must be shocked. But let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about shoes. But first, we've got the men's 5K coming up, presented by Run Gooder. That's right. If you've listened to the CITIUS Mag podcast, you know I've done my fair share number of ad reads for them. I've got a pair. I rock them all the time. So, humble brag by Gooder. They're a 2-time Runner's World Gear of the Year winning brand. But we're going to have to put out a little disclaimer here. Gooder makes no guarantees that purchasing a pair of, or multiple pairs, will make you faster. However, they will promise that you'll look gooder. No slip, no bounce when you're running. They don't even fog up. Sometimes I've had to wear them on a run and like pull up my mask as I'm approaching people. Still, no fog, no problem. So this race, presented by Gooder, they've got a sweet deal going on right now where you get any 2 of their polarized award-winning OG sunglasses for just $40 if you use the promo code Texas Heat. So check them out, gooder.com, and use the promo code Texas Heat.
I have a pair of Gooders. When Alexi sent me her book, Bravey, there was a pair of Gooders in there. I didn't know what they were doing in there, but I was really happy to have them because I get complimented on them quite regularly.
I think, yeah, Gooders look amazing. I think what I used to say on the podcast is run Gooder, legs are feeling gooder.
I don't think that's proper grammar.
All right, so let's hit the YouTube chat. Where are the Craig Engels fans here? Let's get a Craig chant going in the YouTube chat box. This is something I wanted to do for a while. Is engage with the people on YouTube.
What is Craig doing in this race? Craig should be in tomorrow's race, and then we'll check back in like 15 minutes and be like, this was the perfect race for him.
Well, if you listen to the Beer Mile podcast that he and Eric Jenkins sat down and did a little while ago. The Beer Mile podcast will be presenting a race tomorrow. But it was interesting because they talked about the dynamics of Pete Julian's training group and how Donovan Brazier unfortunately had to scratch from this meet, but could have snagged the 1,500-meter Olympic standard. That means he would have had the 8 and the 15. Eric is going to try and snag the 15 and the 5K. Right now, what we're seeing, Craig Engels is going to try and snag the 5K one where he's already got the 15 one. So everyone's just trying to double dip.
I don't understand why he's so obsessed with this idea. Because the only thing that matters is do you make the Olympic team? But if this is important to Craig, then I wish him all the best of luck on getting 3 Olympic trials qualifiers.
I love the chat right now. It's popping off. There are the Craig Engels fans.
A lot of Clayton. And then we do have a Westfly athlete in here.
So
and I've seen a lot of
Westfly
comments coming in. I assume I just set off more. But this is a really good field. You have 18 guys all ready to run. Probably in that 13:25. Is that what pacer Jordan Guzman is set to run?
Yeah.
Perfect. And so 13:30 is the 5K pace, but I would imagine that many of the athletes are looking towards that Olympic trials qualifying time of 13:25. Again, the pace that you're running in the beginning of the race is not necessarily the pace that you're running at the end of the race, and so you can make up that 5-second gap quite easily.
So I'll run through the field right now. In this one, we've got 2-time Olympian Donn Cabral. We've got John Brunecki, Alex Monroe, Frank Lara, Farah Abdul Karim, Sydney Getabude, Craig Engels, Craig Lautenslager, Matthew McClintock, David Elliott, Trip Hurt, one of the best names in the sport, Jackson Messler, Brian Barraza, Clayton Young, Jermaine Coleman, Tom Anderson, Obsa Ali, and Dan Kurtz. Dan Kurtz, who's Ben True's training partner,
gets paid $20,000 a year to train with Ben True.
We learned that on the Let's Run
I didn't know
podcast.
that was an option.
Right? Well, how much did Johnny used to pay?
Johnny doesn't pay me anything to run his easy runs with him. So Jordan Guzman is an extremely competent pacer, someone who I expect will be going a good distance tonight. The Tin Man athlete up at the front once again. Take a drink for those of you of your seltzer watching at home. But again, someone that you can just relax in behind and know that he's going to be there for the long haul, and a perfect 64-second.
We got a tweet in from Scott Smith. He said, I don't know how to chat on YouTube, but I'm really pulling for Donnie Buckets. That's Donn Cabral.
So Donn Cabral, my former roommate, longtime training partner, has been in Flagstaff running, from what I've understood, the most hill workouts anyone has ever done. He's running, as always, probably 100-mile weeks, but something that's interesting about his approach and doing a lot of stuff off the track is it's difficult to quantify exactly what that fitness means. And so dropping down to sea level now, getting in a very star-studded race like this and having that opportunity to test himself is going to put some numbers to those efforts. So the Rabbit is just a few steps ahead, but very wisely, Jordan takes a look behind him, makes sure that they're getting attached as the lights are about 5 meters ahead, and that look back was just enough for him to allow everyone to attach.
I actually don't see Donn right now.
He's in all black about midway through the field.
Oh, okay, I see him now. I also want to bring some attention to Frank Lara, who you see right there, tucked in right behind Brian Barraza. Frank Lara, the Roots running breakout star of 2020, not named Noah Droddy. Heck of a job pacing at the Marathon Project. I think a lot of guys owe some of those major PRs that we saw there to him, taking it all the way 21 miles. Frank's PR here is 14 flat that he ran at altitude, and he did that at the meet that was put together by the NAZ Elite crew out in St. George, Utah.
Just so you know, they were 2:43 at 1K, so perfect.
One thing I also kind of want to pay attention to with Frank is that his mile PR is 4:14. Is he going to split a little faster than that?
Is there a chance? That would be quite impressive.
Well, he hasn't run it, I think, since high school.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but they're just coming up to 3:16 at 1200. They're looking good. Jordan, I think, is trying to itch him along because he's seeing the lights, and the man behind him is Clayton Young, the A6 athlete, that new, it's like blue lightning steel jersey, real fresh as Brian of Tin Man Elite. We watched the pre-show about him. Takes over, steps up, is going to be a little bit more aggressive and get on his teammate Jordan.
Now I know a lot of the BYU guys are out there watching this. Clayton Young, BYU guy, 2019 NCAA champion in the 10K. He ran 13:31 in the 5K in the lead up to that. That's where his PR is from. He's gone under 13:40 twice on the Stanford track. Now let's see if he can do it out here in Texas. Last summer he ran 14:04 in that same meet that Frank was in out in St. George.
So as they approach the mile, I'm going to have to do some really quick math here. It looks like they are about 4:20 for the mile. So 13:32 pace.
I haven't
That's
touched a
correct.
calculator
It's 13:32 pace. And so they're not far off that assigned pace as Frank is now swinging into lane 2 and taking over from Brian. And again, it's so nice to have people willing to share the pace job. It's just, you know, it's a beautiful thing. It's so altruistic of Frank to get around Brian and take
Frank,
over.
overall, nice guy. I mean, one of the prop bets that I think Fob will put out is, does anyone pass the pacer? Do you think Frank will pass the pacer?
I don't think anyone is pacing, is going to pass Jordan here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan stayed in it. But in 4th place behind the Rabbit, there is Trip Hurt, I believe, and the team boss athlete,
mainly a steeplechaser.
You know, a steeplechaser turned 1500 guy, now moving up and doing a 5K. Trip is really showing a little bit of range there. And so he's been, you know, an athlete that's gotten better and better as he's gotten older. And out of Furman, he was initially a steeplechaser, but under Joe has developed some serious wheels. And now tonight, let's see what sort of strength he's developed in the process.
That's right, because last year he ran 3:36 for 1,500 meters. He's only run the 5K outdoors once, and it was when he was second at the Drake Relays 2 or 3 years ago behind Tin Man Elite's Reed Fisher.
And moving up around him is Jackson Messler, the Oregon Duck. His personal best is 14:02, but that was a couple years ago. And this, obviously, when you're moving up at this point in the race while running 13:30 pace, I think we're about to see a huge PR tonight.
Wait, did Frank PR in the mile? Halfway through?
No, 4:20.
Oh, okay.
And then also up there, I believe, is our West Fly athlete.
That's right. Do you want me to The YouTube chat
Why
wants
don't
to
you
hear a little bit.
explain what Westfly is?
Westfly, check out their YouTube channel. It's interesting. You'll get hooked right away.
It's a different flavor than some of the other options out there on the menu.
So that's Farah Abdul Karim, Canadian, 24 years old. He ran at Morehead State before arriving at Ole Miss. He recently jumped on a track for a workout. I believe I saw a photo where he was working out with Sam Prakel and Christian Cash down out in Sedona. He's pretty, if you watch, I think, the very first video on the Westfly YouTube channel, he was so amped up after running 13:37 at the Music City Distance Carnival, where he actually won that race. He's got a 10K PR of 28:27 at the track meet. So last year, great year for him.
So they were 7:04 with 6 laps to go, and now you see Donn Cabral there, the 2-time Olympian in all black. Fun thing about Donn is he's been doing a joint MBA JD program out of UConn these last few years.
But doing it through Zoom University?
But now has taken the semester off so that way he could go to Flagstaff and train full time and make another run to do a 3rd Olympics. And the thing about Donn is I would put nothing past him. Even if the last few years he's been a little bit quiet and we haven't seen quite as much out of him, his ability to turn it on is so impressive, and I would not be surprised by anything he does.
Now, I believe Donn ran at both the, or at least I remember seeing him at the Jersey City Trials of Miles meet that was put on last fall. And so he's very familiar with the race organizers here, and so it was good to see. He was actually maybe one of the first guys to sign up for this meet.
8:11 at the 3K. Craig Engels has entered the chat.
Let's get another Craig Engels chant going in the YouTube chat.
Chris.
In the YouTube chat.
So this sort of race is probably what Craig is looking for. It's playing into his hands. It's not quite as hot as we will see tomorrow night. I think that sub-8 would be would probably take away a little bit of his closing speed, which is probably what he's banking on here. I would, without looking it up, imagine quite easily he has the fastest 800 time in the field by at least a few seconds.
Easily. So Craig actually has not raced a 5K on the track since 2016.
So with Jordan having stepped off, Farah has taken the front.
But Frank wants it back.
And Frank wants it back. Such a nice guy. That last lap, they ran 67 seconds for 400 meters. So they slowed down just a hair, but it looks like pace is being re-injected into the field. With a mile to go, they're looking at 9:18, 9:19. And so don't be surprised here now if Frank does run a 4:14 mile.
He's pulling away.
You know, as a marathoner, it's your responsibility to get things heated up nice and early with a mile to go. With only, you know, a couple miles in your legs rather than 25, Frank's probably feeling pretty good, but he's not going to make it all up in the last lap. He's got to go early.
You see the injection and pace that he just had, but from that drone shot, you can see the gap is closed.
And that was a 65.5, and so things have heated up. They're back in that 420 range that they were running earlier in the race. So it was just a small lag. They recognized it, got back on where they need to be. They're well strung out right now. This is the part of the race that you need to buckle up, and you need to trust your fitness. And a guy who's doing that right now is Donn Cabral, who's moving into 3rd place with the bib number 1, a little bit of pressure. Craig, I would imagine, is watching Donn, a guy who's run this race many times.
13:22 guy.
He's run in the 13:20s on multiple occasions, and so he knows what he's supposed to be feeling like with just a few laps left.
And it's getting pretty tight there because Donn nearly tripped up there. I think Craig is literally right on his heels with Brian Barraza right there as well. This is getting bunched up right now.
Jackson Messler is still up there. And
Sydney Gidaboudet is making a move on the outside.
So some nice Tin Man Elite representation.
That's 8 guys in that front pack right now.
And with just 800, what do we have left? 1,000 meters left. They are bunched up. That was a 67, so they had picked it up only to fall back off. who is going to be the first one to move? Do not be shocked if Donn starts a kick from far out. Although Craig looks good, he is itching to go. And I'm sure that 13.25 is in his mind. If there's someone in this field who's going to be able to wind it up and close in the 153 necessary, it'd be Craig Engels, but it might be too tall of an order.
And I don't believe he's wearing the Dragonflies right now.
What are those?
I'm not sure.
Sydney looks great up there. Farr is staring at Craig's back, just holding on.
Sydney, the Adams State product, 13.29 guy. Frank is making a comeback on the outside.
And you see Ben True's training partner there,
Dan Kurtz,
hang on to the back of that pack. He saw how fast Ben could run in a 10K, so you know he's got to be fit as well. As that was another 67. So really, they haven't got going yet with now 550 meters to go. Expect Craig to maybe make that first move. He looks very, very comfortable.
Not if Frank has anything to say to do with it. He's running in lane 3. He's taking a couple extra steps.
There are a lot of guys here with 1 lap to go. I have a feeling we're going to see a sub 60. Donn is winding things up. 12:38 flat at the bell. Craig is sitting in his pocket. He's wondering if he has to go yet, but if I have a feeling Craig can wait to the last 100 and probably have the wheels, Donn is going to try to make him hurt here as much as possible. Who's your pick, Chris? What do you see?
I'm going to take the safe bet here, and I'm going to go with Craig.
Craig just tried to make a move, and Donn immediately responded heading into this final turn. I think Donn has way more than you think. 13.09 with 200 meters to go. This is Donn Cabral, the 2-time Olympian. You just bet against him.
This is going to come back to bite.
Okay,
Old takes exposed right away.
Speed versus strength right now. Speed versus strength. Craig winding up on the outside. Donn tried to hold him off.
Keep your eye on Sydney Getabude.
Donn has not given up. Craig is going, but he is not putting that much more ground on Donn. Donn is going to run through to the line, but it's going to be Craig, 13:36, just under Galen Rupp's high school 5K PR.
5,000-meter personal best. Look at that official time.
Well, Craig said that he was going to be happy with a sub 13:50. So I hope he's happy.
Absolutely smashed his 14:20 PR that he set in Starkville, Mississippi in 2015.
13:37.2. I don't know what Galen's old high school PR was exactly. Oh wait, that's Donn. We're waiting for the final results to work themselves out.
I saw that Craig's bib, there it is, 13:36.91. Donn, 13:37. Sydney Getabude, 13:37.
I've been holding in that cup of coffee earlier for a while, so I'm just going to tap in someone else in this booth to speak to you for like 2 minutes. Is that allowed?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Is there any NCAA champions in the booth right now that you can speak with? Oh, here's Mac Fleet.
We've got Mac Fleet, but first let's take a quick look at this finish. Donn Cabral giving us extra gear. What do you remember sort of about racing Donn in college?
What's that?
What do you remember about racing Donn in college? And I guess like this close right here, classic Donn. This is the move that landed him on the Olympic team, but Craig just had the extra gear.
Yeah, Donn is tough as nails, and he's going to run you to the line every single time. And Craig just got that speed right now. You know, he's running a couple 15s, he's running 800. This was a slower 5K, so you know, of course, he's going to have that edge at the finish.
So we're being brought on camera right here. Mac Fleet in the house. Mac, you're one of the biggest track and field media critics, I think. So how are we doing so far on the broadcast?
I think you guys are doing phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just to get my beef out, I think TV and stuff that's on YouTube is completely different. Like, this has an awesome character, an awesome flavor. You're hanging out with, you know, Merber and Chris, and it's comfy. Stuff on TV, I think, needs to be a little bit more exciting, a little bit flashier, and yeah, but no, you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
This has been so much fun. So, like, what has impressed you so far the most in tonight?
This whole meet, the rate at which the meet directors put this together and got everything moving, and the communication and all the sponsors that have pulled through to make this all happen, it's it's very hard to do right now, and it was no small feat.
Yeah. So you've got Nikki running tomorrow. I mean, like, let's get a little bit of insight into how's she feeling. Where are we at so far in the season, in her season?
Comparative to the last couple of years, Nikki moved up, I think, 5 spots in her world ranking over the last couple of weeks. So there's a slow improvement. And we're gearing towards the 3rd race at the Olympic trials. Like, that's going to be a really fast race. The U.S. women's 1500 is stacked top to bottom. I think everyone that's in that final has a chance to make that team. So just like everybody else, it's all about that 3rd race. Being smart qualifying and then being able to have the strength to perform in that 3rd race.
Sweet. Well, Mac, it's fun to have you here in the booth. Kyle's back. We're going to tap you guys right back in. But first, I think we're going to toss it. Oh, no. We've got the women's 10K coming up. Kyle's back on the mic. Mac, thanks for checking in with us.
How'd Mac do?
Good. He says we're doing a good job so far.
Thank God, because I actually think that's the person I need to impress most. Look at what Craig is doing right now. How did they find out where the track meet was?
I don't. This is why we tried to keep it a secret. It's for this reason right here. But thankfully, they're all. Most of them are wearing masks.
It's like the Britney Spears documentary. That was really fun and exciting.
That was. I mean, that last lap.
Love track and field.
The grit on Donn Cabral's face was just insane.
I've been on the other side of that on many, many occasions. So I guess we've got some 10Ks now.
Lots of time to talk during 10Ks.
I love the 10K.
Because the funniest part about a 10K is that we usually, and I usually bring it up sometimes in interviews, it's like, it's not the sexiest event because it's just like, they cut away through it for so many times during commercials. We're not doing that.
Look, if you have 2 of the most handsome and most entertaining commentators in the business to help you occupy the hour that is back-to-back 10Ks, it might not be that bad. And if I know anything from having done a podcast with you, we can fill time.
We can, we talked for 2 hours. People have been with us tonight for a couple hours now. This has been, so far, a lot of fun. And I think we've got Craig with Emma now. So let's toss it over. Emma, take it away.
Live. Craig is live. Craig, how are you feeling after that?
Not so good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
You said that you're going to throw up maybe in this interview?
Possibly, yeah. That'd be some good footage for the Instagram.
Yeah, well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Why the 5K?
I'm actually not sure. Still, that was awesome. I'm more excited. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still live.
I'm more excited for that than 1500s, man. It was brutal, but I'm so stoked on the result. I haven't won a race in so long, and it happens to be a 5K.
Well, congrats. What's next for you?
Road trip home, baby. Going back to Portland. I got a week of off season, so get up to some shenanigans in California.
Oh, some shenanigans. All right. Well, I'm sure there's probably so many fans cheering you on in that chat. So what do you have to say to them? What do you have to say to them? So many high schoolers.
Yo, thanks for cheering. If you were cheering at your TV, hit me up on Instagram with some of those videos. I want to see that, man. That was some fun, but I'm never going to do a 5K again.
That's what they all say. Well, thanks for coming in. Great job.
Woo! Sorry, the red light turned off.
Great for the sport. I mean, he swore off the 5K. I mean, Meb swore off the marathon after his first try, but ended up he won an Olympic medal, won the Boston Marathon, won the New York City Marathon. You can't swear these events off after one try.
You know, it's very easy for Craig in his mid-20s to be swearing off the 5K. A few years from now, all of a sudden that leg speed isn't what it used to be. He'll be back. I'm confident he'll be back.
So I got a text from a friend of mine, and he said, I believe those are the dragonflies that he was wearing. And so, we're